Hey all, Pi here, and we are back in Our Life Beginnings and Always. I remember the name this time. I did my job. But you may notice that my audio sounds different in this one than it normally does, and that is because I was finally uh, fiddling around with some of the settings in OBS, and I discovered that there has been a noise cancellation filter that I could have turned on at any time. So, I'm just very good at my job. Anyway, uh, I don't think this mic is sensitive enough to pick it up anyway, and I'm pretty sure with the noise cancellation it won't. But if you do hear a very soft little squeak in the background, that is my new cat. Her name is Putty Tat, and she is precious. I will upload some pictures. Anyway, all too soon the table was cleared, the games in the living room were put away, and you were all steered to your bedrooms. Mom finished tucking you in and kissed your brow just as Mommy poked her head in the room. All ready for lights off, you two? You were lying comfortably in your bed, the blanket hiked up under your armpits. You could kick it off later if it got too hot. Mom had set up the sleeping bag on the floor for Cove, just beside your bed. He had already wiggled inside. I think so.
Good night.
Perfect. I'll go say goodnight to Lizzie then. Mom tweaked your nose, chuckled when you squawked in annoyance, and left. Mommy took her place, sitting on the edge of your bed.
Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams, sweetie. She pressed a soft kiss on your forehead. You giggled as strands of her hair fell forward and tickled you. Mommy smiled down affectionately at you, then moved her attention to Cove, who watched from his spot on the floor. You need anything before falling asleep, honey? What does your dad do? Sometimes he picks me up and lifts me really high, and he shakes his hands like he's gonna let go, but then he catches me again. Oh! He keeps doing that until sometimes he does drop me on my bed, or other times he lowers me down and we pretend like I'm crashing. Cove had become pretty excited when talking about the nightly ritual he and his dad shared. He seemed to realize how animated he was and bashfully quieted. But I don't want to do that here.
Aww.
Oh, how fun. Though I think you're right that it might not be a good idea to do that tonight. The sleeping bag might not be at the soft enough landing. If there's anything else, you can always ask me or Xander's other mom. But I'm the nicer one. Just don't tell her that. She laughed good-naturedly and stood up.
Take care.
Sleep well, Cove. Night. Leaning against the door jamb, she rested a hand on the light switch and looked at you. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. With a last smile, Mommy turned off the lights and stepped out, closing the bedroom door behind her. You listened to her footsteps fade as she walked down the hallway. You closed your eyes and snuggled in, prepared to drift off. You started when Cove sighed deeply. You turned your head to look in his direction. In the dark, you could only see a faint outline of a lump under the covers. Cove? I think Xander's going to lean towards just a general, what was that noise? Because there was a strange sound in his room, and he is the type to get easily spooked. I think we've established already. Nothing. I can't sleep. Why not? He shifted, or at least you thought he did. You couldn't see anything, since your eyes were still adjusting to the dark, but you heard his sleeping bag rustle. I want to be in my bed. Oh. Cove sat up. Your eyes had gotten used to the low light level, so you could see him better. He got out of the sleeping bag, wobbled towards your side table, and pulled open the top drawer. What is it? I'm getting my glasses. He sat up too, watching as he reached inside. He paused for a second, then pulled his hand out. Instead of his glasses, though, he was holding a book. Cove turned it around in his hands, trying to figure out the proper orientation for it. You knew even without reading the title which one it was. That was one your moms would read to you. It was special. I thought you were looking for your glasses. I was. Then I felt this. It looks cool. The compliment he afforded your special book had you grinning, your confusion forgotten. It is really cool.
Oh?
Oh yeah? What's it about? It's a short story about a squire who wants to become a knight, and there's magic. Does it have mermaids? No, but there's a dragon in it, and crazy things happen. The squire tries to kill her because the king wants the dragon dead, so they have this fight. But the squire finds out the dragon's really nice. They decide they don't want to fight her after all, so the two of them become friends instead. You only realized afterward that she spoke more strongly than you had meant to. Your cheeks burned. Must have been how Cove felt earlier. Thankfully, Cove didn't seem annoyed. In fact, if you didn't know any better, it seemed he liked the explanation. Usually Cove sported a disinterested expression on his face, or a sad one. You could probably count the number of times you'd seen him smile on one hand. Right now, though, he looked excited as he flipped the book over and focused on the backside to try learning more. You were reminded of the hours you'd spent hearing the tales. No matter how many times you read it, or had it read to you, you were still entertained by the story and pictures inside. You glanced out the window. The moon was high in the sky. I think Xander is going to be fully swept up in the moment and just want to read his special book, since Cove seems to also have an interest in it. So, you wanted to read the book with Cove. You climbed out of bed and padded over to your side table. You opened it and rummaged around, pushing aside stuffed toys and crayons. Cove called out to you in a confused whisper. What are you doing? Getting something we need. You let out a quiet cry of victory when you found what you were looking for. You jumped back onto the bed before any hidden boogeyman could catch you unaware. Cove continued to watch as you wiggled your way beneath the blanket you'd discarded earlier. You pulled it up over your head. What's... You have to come here. Bring the book too. After a minute, the bed dipped as Cove got on it. Then the blanket shifted. You fiddled with the flashlight in your grip, feeling for the switch. With a click, the small space flooded with a bright light. Cove sputtered, putting a hand up to shield himself from the beam. Move it somewhere else. Sorry. You hurriedly tilted the flashlight so it was shining down at the floor of your blanket cave, and away from Cove's sensitive eyes. Now we can read, and my moms won't know. I feel like, in general, Xander's probably not the type to break the rules. But if it's for extra reading time, I do this all the time. I don't stay up for too long because Mom or Mommy check on me sometimes. I haven't been caught yet. Do you want to try? Cove nodded. Pleased by his straightforward response, you placed the book between you and flipped it open to the first page. Meanwhile, he laid down on his belly and shuffled closer, picking up the flashlight to shine it on the pages. His face was illuminated with a warm glow. You mirrored his position, leaning in so you could see the book better. Your foreheads nearly brushed until you shuffled back a comfortable distance. Given that we're trying not to get caught, you thought it was best to take turns reading the book silently. Here. You turned the book around so it was right side up for Cove. You can read a page, then I'll read it, and then we can keep switching like that. He nodded with a bit of hesitance. Cove tucked the book closer towards him. Then he began to read. You saw his mouth form the words as he whispered them under his breath, inaudible to you. After some time, he was finished reading the first page. He took a few moments to admire the picture covering half the page, then slid the book back to you.
Okay.
Your turn. You continued this way until you were a quarter way into the tale. The next time it was Cove's turn, you yawned, resting your chin atop your crossed arms. Idly, you studied Cove. His eyes were following the text, a soft smile lighting up his features. A lock of his hair fell into his field of vision, but he gave it no notice. He was lost in the story. Your eyelids started to droop. When your eyes opened again, your bedroom was pitch black and silent. Your head was smushed in your pillow. Your pajamas were sticking to you, and your mouth was dry. Ugh. I hate that when you wake up and just everything is not quite right. Ugh. Slowly, you raised yourself onto your elbows. You yawned, the back of your throat twinging as you did so. You rolled onto your side and sat up in bed, planning on getting water from the kitchen, when you saw a dark shape towering above you. You froze. Then you remembered you weren't alone in your room tonight. Sure, Cove, just give me a friggin' heart attack. Why not? Cove? That you?
Yeah.
You shifted and felt something cylindrical press against your thigh. You fumbled for it. The familiar weight of the flashlight pressed into your palm. You turned it on. Cove blinked at you, looking exhausted. He was in his normal clothes again, shoes and everything. His pajamas were left on the floor, abandoned. His sleeping bag was in a similar state. Ah, so he did not fall asleep from our reading adventure. Unfortunate. What is it? Can't sleep. Keep waking up. Did you have a bad dream? He shook his head from side to side. No, just can't sleep. It's weird here. Yeah, sleeping in a strange place is always a little weird. You frowned. You'd helped your moms redecorate it only a few months back. I like my room. It's weird to me. I want to sleep in my bed. I'm gonna go. What? That shook off the last of your doziness. He was going to walk outside back to his own house? At this time of night? All by himself? He noted your shocked expression and looked at you with resolve. My dad will let me in, and I've gone outside late before, and I have to go. Think Xander's gonna go for the responsible option, since he already got in trouble. I don't remember if it was the last episode or one before that. Whenever Cove ran away, and then Xander accidentally also ran away looking for Cove and got admonished for it. So I think that's also going to be kind of on his mind, even though I think within the game it's not really going to acknowledge what order these steps happened in. So I should tell my moms. No, I don't want you to. I'll just leave. My dad can call them in the morning. You knew that you could just let him go, but something inside you was saying that wouldn't be the right thing to do. It's too late for you to go outside on your own. It'd be bad. Cove grumbled quietly, though stayed put. Okay, you can tell them. I'll wait. Good. When you crept into the room, Mom was still up reading in bed, while Mommy had already fallen asleep. When Mom woke Mommy up, they were both surprised to hear that Cove wanted to leave, and the two of them followed you back to your room to see him.
Sweetie.
Cove, are you alright, sweetie? Is there anything we can do to help? Mommy sounded tired after having just woken up, but she smiled at Cove kindly. Cove shook his head firmly, not meeting anyone's eyes as he did so. I just want to go home. We're sorry you don't feel comfortable staying. How about you come downstairs with us and we'll call your dad to get you? Cove headed past your mom's and out of the room. Mom turned to you before leaving. Alright, off to sleep, kiddo. We'll make sure Cove is taken care of. Good night again. Good night, Xander. You listened to the sounds of their footsteps on the stairs as you huddled back down in bed, pulling your blanket up around your shoulders. It didn't bother you that Cove had left. At least now you didn't have to worry if he would snore and keep you awake all night. Eventually your eyes started getting heavy, and with a loud yawn, you finally got comfortable in your bed and drifted off to sleep. The next morning, you were woken by the sound of Mom's voice and a soft shake on your shoulder. Xander, wake up. It's time to get up and at 'em. The sun was peeking through your curtains, and you rubbed your eyes as they adjusted to the new light. Mom sat down on the bed next to you. You blinked at her for a moment, confused, until you caught the empty sleeping bag on the ground and remembered what had happened during the night. Mr. Holden came over to pick up Cove and take him home. You should have seen his hair when he turned up, half asleep. It was even messier than Mommy's in the morning. She chuckled at the thought, and you could tell she was trying to make you feel better about the whole situation, so you smiled back at her.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting us know that Cove wasn't feeling good, Xander. That was a nice thing to do. You nodded in agreement, and Mom went on to say that maybe once Cove started to feel more comfortable, that he could try and sleep over again sometime. You shrugged the idea off, not particularly caring if that happened anytime soon or not. You could have told your parents they shouldn't have tried to do this in the first place. Of course, it wouldn't end well. The next time you saw Cove and Mr. Holden, they both apologized for Cove having left so suddenly. You assured them that it was okay. In the end, the two of you, and your parents, were eventually able to move past the ill-fated sleepover. It had all been a learning experience, according to the adults. You could accept that. There were definitely things you learned from it. Alright, and we have finished all of the steps in this we finished all the moments in this first step. There we go. I got it the right way around eventually. So we are going to initiate the summer ending, and we'll see if I manage to finish this section entirely in this episode, and if not, we'll pick it up in the next one and see where we get. As you do. Yes, I am sure. I have no more moments. I'll never get tired of that view. You stood beside your moms and Lizzie as the four of you watched the sun dip into the ocean somewhere far, far away. You like to imagine it cooling off in the water, resting itself before getting ready to shine brightly again tomorrow. That was a fun day. I didn't know they had magicians on the shopping street now. Neither did I. Oh no, we are so dull. Let's get out more. You didn't do real magic, Mom. How did you figure that one out?
Duh.
'Cause I know. That's not what real magic looks like. Oh, Lizzie dear, there's all kinds of magic in the world. Lizzie gave Mommy a suspicious look, but didn't dispute the claim. Well, we can't sit out here all night. Time to hurry home and get cooking. Who's helping with dinner? Lizzie immediately let out a groan.
Ugh.
Mom! Summer's almost over. The protest was obvious. You could practically see the school on the horizon. The protest was obvious. You could practically see school on the horizon. You certainly didn't want to spend your last bits of freedom cooking dinner. You could do that any other day. You put on your best puppy dog eyes. Oh, don't look at me like that. Like what?
Please?
Soon we'll have homework and reading to do. We can't do work now, too. Lizzie made her case and then stomped her foot into the ground. You mimicked her, feeling that would add something to the argument. Well...
No.
Oh, come on, Pam. I can help you with dinner. Mommy leaned in for a hug, and you knew that you were very close to victory.
Okay.
Alright. But as soon as dinner's ready, you lot are coming inside, understood? Yes, Mom. Yes, Mom. So much to do, so little time. Maybe I could still get the seashell bracelet at Tines and Trinkets. Oh, or maybe the playground. Or the fireflies would probably be coming out, right? You silently made your own plans. Lizzie had her own ideas of what she wanted to do, but what were you going to do? A strong gust of wind to make you shiver. Lizzie huffed as she wrapped her arms around herself.
Rude.
Doesn't the wind know that summer's not over yet? That's all Lizzie said before abruptly turning on her heel and heading off in the direction your mothers had gone. Where are you going? I'm going to my room. I have lots of plans if I want to make the most of tomorrow. You thought this over, looking off towards the water again. Lizzie didn't wait, and before long she was disappearing off down the road. Honestly, I don't think Xander's the type to just wander around all by himself, so you followed Lizzie. You were getting rather chilly yourself, and there was plenty to do inside. You didn't bother trying to catch up with Lizzie, swinging your arms at your sides as you strolled along the beach. It was getting colder, but you couldn't help but want to enjoy the last bits of daylight while you could. Not too much further down, you spotted a familiar green head of hair moseying along the shore. I think we've been around Cove enough at this point that we'll be curious as to what the heck he's doing out here. So, you went to see what Cove was up to. Curious, you strayed off your path and walked over to him. Cove knelt down, picking up something you quickly identified as a smooth rock. He reared his arm back, then tossed it out into the water. You were impressed over how far he got it to go. It sailed way out into the sea. You looked for your own rock. Deciding to join Cove, you searched nearby for any rocks or shells that you could throw too. Cove jumped a little when he noticed you, and you gave a shrug and a smile, realizing you sort of forgotten to announce yourself. Whoops. You found a shell that would suit your purposes, a smile growing as you tossed it as hard as you could. It landed with a wet-sounding thunk a few feet away and slipped down into the water. When you looked over at Cove, he didn't seem to notice that his throw had been more impressive. Cove was looking down at his cast, scratching idly at the pink surface even though you were pretty sure he couldn't feel it. His brows were furrowed and there was a frown on his face.
It's not fair.
Not fair. I've had to wear this cast for ages. I can't even swim. When do you get it off? Cove shrugged and didn't say anything. For a second you thought maybe he didn't know, but finally he sighed. A few weeks. That is a while away. You thought for something else to say, something positive, but words wouldn't come. As was usual for you. Cove let out a huff, plopping down into the sand. I can't believe summer's almost over. You sat down next to him and nodded in agreement, regardless of the sudden topic change. I don't want to go to school. I mean, I would. I don't want to go to a new school. I think it'll be the same school as you and Lizzie. My dad said something about that. So why don't you want to go? It's nice as far as schools go. You'd only ever been to the one school, but you were sure that his old school couldn't have been that much better. Then again, he did have to make new friends and meet new teachers. It could be kind of scary. Cove shook his head, then wrapped his good arm around his knees as he drew them to his chest. You heard a sniffling sound, and when you took a good look at his face, you realized that his eyes were wet.
I want to go home.
You weren't sure what to do. It felt weird to just leave him here, crying, but what could you say that would help? You frowned a little, starting to stand. Okay, well, bye then. Cove gave his head a small shake. No, I want to go back home. Right. Cove wanted to go back to his old home. The one that sat waiting someplace far from here. The one he would bring up whenever he felt like this sad. It had been a while since he had moved in, but he didn't seem to feel any better about being here. He settled back down into the sand, trying to consider what to do. Do you hate it here? Cove's brow furrowed even more. Then he shook his head. You're not going to leave, right? You'll still be around. The question was a little surprising. Of course. Your parents would have mentioned if you were going to move or something, right? After a second, Cove gave a little nod. Once I get my cast off, we could go swimming. You were fine with him changing the subject again. Okay. You had to say swimming did sound fun, even if it was already getting chilly out. Cove smiled, then looked back to the waves. My dad keeps saying I'll get used to everything eventually, that I'd feel better then. It used to make me angry. I didn't want to get used to everything. He spared a glance over at Cove and saw the anger had slipped off his face and further something almost puzzled. But maybe that would be okay after all, as long as I really do feel better. I can't see it. The two of you sat quietly, just taking in the sounds of the waves. Lost in thought, you started a bit when you heard a faint, familiar sound. The sound of your mom shouting your name. You looked over your shoulder, realizing it was probably time for dinner. Had you guys really been sitting out here that long? You stood and dusted the sand off yourself. My mom's calling. It's time for dinner. You should come. Cove looked up at you, expression screaming reluctance. Yet ultimately, okay. When you smiled, Cove returned one of his own. But the two of you couldn't stay there in your own little world any longer. You were being called forward. So the both of you ran off towards your house, leaving the waves and summer behind. It's really sweet. In between. Alright, so think I'm gonna go ahead and like set any changes I want to make to Xander and then end the episode, because there's not too much, like I don't want to start the next section and then have to stop like a minute into it, so this episode might just be a little short. That's just gonna have to be okay. Alright, so I haven't changed much. I gave him a new front hairstyle because I kind of like the beads. Didn't change any birthmarks, obviously. He does have acne now, because it is that time. I didn't really do too much else here. And he has braces, because it is that time. we love that time. Anyway, I'll go ahead and I'll hit done. So I think we also get, yeah, we also get this. I think after spending a whole summer with Cove, I think Xander has probably warmed up a little. He's still a nervous wreck, because of course he is. So, ready? Yes. Okay, now I can customize Cove, and I think actually for this one I am just going to let the game decide what Cove is going to be like, because last time I customized him every opportunity I got. This time I just kind of want to see what the game gives me. So, neither. This is how you feel towards... Oh, I get to set... Oh, this is the DLC. Okay. This is how you feel towards Derek for this step. It can be the same or different from how you feel towards Cove. Okay, so I think nervous is just gonna be Xander's default state. I think personally it'd be kind of cute if he starts off with a little bit of a crush on Derek, since he's known Derek for a bit. Or has he? Maybe not. Either way, we'll start with that because I think that'll be cute. All right, we are going to save, and that's going to be the end of this episode. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please consider leaving a like, leaving a comment if you got something to say, subscribe if you haven't yet, and if you would like to support me financially, by all means, please go check out my Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you can get early access to all of my regular videos, and the link for that will be down in the description. And for everyone else, thank you so much for vibing with me for a little bit. I hope you had fun. I'll see you in the next one.